Beware of the fact, yeah? So it's going to be very long.
The Quran says Sagirun, yeah? Is that right? Sagirun, have I pronounced it right? And now, could you just give me the literal translation of Sagirun?
Subdued.
Subdued. So the people of the book will pay the jizya to be?
Subdued.
So, if you're subduing somebody, that's not a positive thing. Imagine if the British government today said that the non-Muslims, they're going to pay 20% tax because the state needs to function, we need to feed the poor, we need
that would be unfair. That would be unfair.
The Muslims, we're going to charge them a separate tax so that they can be subdued. Imagine Theresa May gets up in Parliament and says the Muslims are going to pay a tax so they can be subdued. Now, are
you done?
Nearly.
Okay, nearly.
Anybody that tells you the jizya is a good thing is mistaken. What is a good thing is that me and my brother, Adnan, we pay the same tax. Muslim, Jew, we are the same under the eyes of the law. I don't have a tax. We just pay more. We just sorry. Anyway, go on. Sorry. Lost my chain of thought now. So under the eyes of the law, we should be seen as the same. There shouldn't be a tax to subdue me. There shouldn't be a Jew tax to subdue the Jew. There should be an equal tax. It should be proportional to our income, not our religion.
Okay, very good, Joseph. I'll try to make it as quick as possible.
Thank you.
Right. Firstly, coming to the pogroms against the Jewish people, he mentions 1517. I am perfectly willing to accept that it may have happened, although I have to go and check the circumstances around that. I'll give you other examples. I'll help Joseph in his case that there were definitely pogroms and massacres of the Jewish people throughout the vast, period of Muslim history. One happened in 1066 in Granada, in Spain, right? One happened possibly in 1517, what he's talking about. Two, there might be 5 or 6 or 7 more examples. But if you look at these 5, 6, 7 more examples, which may have some context to them, we don't know the context. Who did it? Why did they do it? They may be extremists, there may be some crazy nutters. But because one of the prime ministers, Samuel Nagid, was actually killed during this pogrom I'm talking about. He was the prime minister and he was killed in 1066 in Granada. So it is very possible that these things happen. But the point I'm making is that the general pattern of Muslim behavior towards the Jewish people was kind, generous, to an extent that where Jewish people themselves are paying tributes to the Muslim treatment. I gave plenty of references earlier where the Jewish people are praising. For example, another example, Salonika. Salonika was an important Jewish center where the Jews flourished under the Ottoman rule. Why did the Jews come to Salonika is the question. Where did they come from? Now, when the Catholic monarchs took the last stronghold from the Muslims in Spain, Granada in 1492, then followed a heavy persecution of the Jews as well as the Muslims. The Inquisition came in, and where did these persecuted Jews go? They found refuge with the Ottomans in Salonika, and the Jewish people paid lavish tributes to the Ottomans for protecting them. Many Jewish people went to Jerusalem. I gave the sources. Amnon Cohen, read his book published in 1994. The book is titled A World from Within. Amnon, A-M-N-O-N, Cohen, C-O-H-E-N, 1994, and read his conclusion about the Jewish treatment at the hands of the Ottomans. So the history of Islam and Muslims when it comes to the treatment of the Jewish people is so magnificent, despite all the unpleasant incidents that Joseph is referring to. I hope Joseph is not trying to brush aside all our positive contribution towards the well-being of the Jewish people.
I've consistently said there have been Muslims that have treated Jews very well and Muslims who have treated Jews badly. That's my
I'm claiming the overwhelming evidence of the treatment towards the Jewish people is positive.
So why are there no Muslims, Jews left in Muslim lands now?
Okay, well, that's a good question. Now, why would Joseph or other Jewish researchers, why would they put doubt on Muslim treatment of the Jewish people? Why would they even challenge it? having known that the Jewish people generally flourished under the protection of Islam, to an extent that people like Bernard Lewis, scholars like Bernard Lewis, who was openly hostile to Islam and Muslims, okay, he even wrote the book What Went Wrong with the Arabs, okay. He acknowledged that for over 1,000 years, 10 centuries, the Jewish people flourished under the protection of Islam. 90% of the Jewish population of the world, 90%, survived extinction and destruction because the Muslims protected them. Bernard Lewis, not me, Bernard Lewis, a Jewish Zionist historian who died recently. So why would he say this? This is my claim. My claim is the general treatment towards the Jewish people had been kind. It was amazing. It was beautiful. The Jewish people flourished. They had businesses. They had, they were huge merchants. They were scholars. They were poets. Jazak Allah Khair, where was he born? Jazak Allah Khair was a Spanish poet who wrote poetry. The Jewish golden age was in Spain. And who says so? Scholars like Heinrich Greitz, who was a German historian, Jewish historian, he states that for 3 centuries, from the 10th to the 13th century, this was the Jewish golden age in Al-Andalus in Spain, under the protection of Islam. So all of these things put together, it is clear that Joseph is repeatedly referring to exceptions where Jewish people were killed, there were pogroms, there were some massacres, no doubt. Okay, why they happened, what caused them is a very good question we can look into. But you cannot look at those examples and say this is exactly what happened, which you have acknowledged clearly. You have acknowledged that there were good periods. My claim is the good period overwhelmingly outweighs the bad period. This is my